like I've never felt torn so much because of how much I
That's something.
like NewJeans.
This.
And
Well, I hit record.
it also really sucks because I really, really like that song. I love
Yeah.
that song. It's my favorite song, and it's, I don't know. However, we'll
Welcome
get more
back, you
into it.
guys. Yeah, we'll get into it. You kind of have a preface of what we're talking about today, but welcome back, you guys, to another episode of Bingu Choom and K-pop tunes, the podcast version. Um, for those that are listening on Spotify, I am Choom, also known as Reina.
And I am Bingu, also known as Lacey. And
Yeah, and
today,
today
we're just talking about NewJeans, guys.
we are, and I also want to add in that I unfortunately live in a place where we get monsoons. My point being that there might be some thunder in the background. When we edit, we'll do our best to try and noise reduce the thunder if at all possible, but it might overlap with my talking at some
And
times. So just a heads up.
it's just, you're going to be so immersed and you're going to feel like you're here. So just act like you're with Raina in
my
the living room.
my cats usually feature in the episode, as Lacey said, so it's not that big of a deal. Some thunder, what else? What else could
I
happen?
mean,
Not that.
it's just better than like a crying baby. I just feel like it's better than a crying baby. Or
True.
like construction. That's better than construction.
Yeah. True. So yeah, as Lacey said, today we are talking about NewJeans and more specifically their debut song Cookie, because we, depending on like this next episode that's about to come out, or this past episode that recently came out in relation to this, when this episode gets released, we talked about Attention and Hype Boy and how much we love the song. And then we did a music video reaction and we were kind of like, well, nothing in Attention seems inappropriate. Like, we're not really sure what people are talking about. Like, they're not dressed inappropriately. And Lacey and I are both on the same page of, we think styling wise, they look fine for their age.
I
And
think we
we were
also
kind of,
agreed lyrically it was fine.
yeah, for like the first set of songs, but not Cookie.
Mm-hmm.
But like, I just want to say, like, styling wise, I think they were very of age. Attention and Hype Boy, I thought the songs were fitting, and I'm kind of on the side of like, despite them being 14, I don't think that's a major issue. I know people are gonna come at us, or me maybe specifically for that,
No, I'm agreeing with you. I agree with the same age
because
thing.
like the mindset of that doesn't make sense to me, simply for the fact of, we have child actors, we have, well, child actors is the first thing that comes to mind. Like, our industry, even in America, we have like a family in a TV show and you've got kids. You're gonna tell, if you're gonna tell kids they can't debut at 14 in K-pop, you have to tell everybody, like, you're not allowed to become a child actor, you're not allowed to become a singer, you're not allowed to achieve your dreams. And my main concern with that is, I think that it's a lot of work, obviously, for a child. So I can really only hope that whoever is managing them is really keeping in mind their mental health, their physical health, and really like helping them and not just pushing all of this workload on them, especially because being an idol, like, that's almost a 24-hour day with maybe some sleep increments here or there. So that's where I think the age thing comes in, because it could be
Mm-hmm.
seen as child labor. But I don't think you should tell someone like, "Hey, you're 14 years old, you can't debut." Like that.
I
That
just
I don't
don't
agree with
think,
what people are saying.
I don't really agree with that either because we have, it's what you said, we have child actors, so it's like it's literally the same thing. It's only a concern when it depends on like how you're presenting that child or how, or even how, like even how you're treating the child.
Yeah.
So there's that. And I also want to mention that one member from, if I get the ages wrong, sorry, but one is 18, two of them are 17, and I think one of them is like 16.
And then the youngest is
So,
14, I believe.
and those are like, that's the age range we're working with, basically 18 to 14. And I try to keep the age range in mind because when we're going to get into like the song, the age is just wild when you think of the context of it. So I guess
We can
I
start on
watched
the song
I
if you
yeah, we
want.
could start on the song cuz
I
I
just
watched it
wanted to preface
first.
it with saying, like, what I did. Like, you can't say no to a 14-year-old being an actor and being
Mm-mm.
an idol unless you, like, cut everything off. I just wanted to preface it with that.
Like,
So we
guys, we
can
have
start on the
Stranger
actual
Things.
song.
Those kids started when they were like kids. Internet woman kids. But I watched Cookie first. I think I watched it immediately when it dropped because I've been obsessed with NewJeans. And it was great. I loved everything about it. But because we talked about NewJeans before and just everyone's concerns about it, I was I was really like listening and reading the lyrics, and I just wasn't, I have no idea what I was expecting, but the level of like innuendos in that song was wild.
Yeah.
Even
Yeah.
as someone that isn't fluent in Korean, a lot of those lines were like crazy. I was very
I want to add
shocked.
something though about you saying like you're not fluent in Korean. So we on our YouTube account made a comment on the music video just saying like we love NewJeans, but hey, these like lyrics kind of questionable. And some people were replying, and then I went and looked at their Instagram account because I was like, is this even true? Like, I'm not really sure. I don't follow them on social media yet. Um, a lot of fans, I guess you could say, I don't know if you're fans yet or not, but a lot of people were saying that they wrote the song as a thank you to their fans, like dedicated it to their fans. NewJeans did, and they were saying like they're literally just saying like I'm baking you a cookie to give to your fans, and then in the Instagram like little preface for the song, they were saying that. But I want to point out the fact that if you do some deeper research, this song was written in English first, translated into Korean, and these girls most likely did not have anything to do with that process at all.
Even with what they were saying,
They are not
it didn't look like
self-produced.
it looked like they didn't even know what they were
Yeah.
talking about,
They're
like in
not
reference to.
self-produced yet though. Like looking at the song credits and everything, they're not self-produced. So
Mm-mm.
they were told to say this is what the song was about by the company most likely. And like looking at how many innuendos like Lacey said were in the song, it's very obvious that this was written in English, translated to Korean, and then it becomes even more obvious because you're looking at the translations back from Korean. Like the song is kind of choppy in that aspect. It probably flowed better in English, and then they translated it to Korean, and now being translated back, it's like really choppy and really obvious. And like to me, for people to say like no, they literally mean this, okay, they might literally mean that, but it was still a song written in English with the innuendos in mind. Like
It makes sense that it
that's
was
how it
actually
worked.
written in English because I just felt like it was translating way too well. I was like,
Way
this
yeah.
is like I know exactly what I know exactly what you're talking about. And when people bring up, even when they, even if New Jeans said it, the fact that that's not what it means and it's an innuendo and you shouldn't look at it from that point and blah blah blah. I
You can't see
I
that
think you're
though.
just I think you're just like ignoring the issue.
at hand. And you can't say that anyway, because like even if someone says, well, this is what NewJeans said it means, somebody that has no freaking clue who NewJeans is gonna listen to this song, maybe look at the translation, and or even listen to it in Korean. They're gonna listen to it and translate it, and they're not gonna take it at face value of this is what NewJeans said, that this is what the song is about. There's no way they're gonna know that
No.
unless they follow NewJeans and go and look it up. They're gonna take the
Yeah.
song for
And
the
listen to,
innuendos and for what it was.
and if I didn't translate that, even if you didn't translate it and you were just listening to it, you would know what it was about.
Yeah,
Like
Cookie is
there are a lot of English lines that you know what the
really give
song is
away.
about. It
Yeah,
really gives it
really
away.
give away
And
what
I
it
don't,
is.
and I think like there's a lot of issues with it, but part of my issue is that there's two sides of this argument where I feel like they're two extremes and that people really aren't thinking about how the song came together. A lot of people are like, if you support nude jeans, that means you're a pedophile. And I don't think that's right at all. I think everyone is just really upset, but that doesn't mean that you're a pedophile because you like and
No.
support nude jeans. And I don't think people even consider that the person that, I don't know who wrote the song, but if we think about composers, there are some times where they write lyrics and they have no idea who this is going to.
Yeah.
They're just writing it because it sounds good. So I don't even fault the writer. I fault the who is it? Like the,
I
what
guess
is their
either
label? Is it the C, cuz people don't even know who.
ADOR. So HYBE is
Yeah,
the main
the main umbrella.
parent company. I like lost
Right.
my train of thought. HYBE is the main parent company, and this new subsidiary label is ADOR,
So
and
the
it's
own, so
headed.
the CEO of ADOR. That's who people are.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay, so
but
that's where that's
it also falls under the responsibility of HYBE too. Like this is one of their
that's also
subsidiary
true.
companies.
My
And so anything that falls on the CEO of ADOR, they most likely have to get permission from HYBE as well. Like
my
it's just a
issue
chain of command.
my issue was that, like, my main issue is that you hired someone that has allegations.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing when we talked about Le Seraphim with the bullying allegations. Like, you put someone on there and you knew what
What
was
was
going
going on?
on. You
Yeah.
knew about
And
them.
for the CEO for ADOR, Min Hee Jin, there's like no way not to know about this too. She's been in the public way longer than the Le Seraphim thing. And like I feel like school bullying, yeah, you should have known about that. But like this is someone that had to go through an interview process to get this job. And there were no red
Like, you
flags about
really,
anything.
I don't even think it was red flags. I really feel like companies genuinely feel they won't be found out. And that's just not the case in the climate that we're in. People are going to
This
find out
is
everything about you. So I don't ever understand why. Because it's the second time this happened. Like you knew this. And you still hired someone that has allegations. And it's so weird. It's just very obvious. So I think that people are upset at the wrong thing. I don't think people are getting upset at, like, they're not having the right reasons to be upset. So when people were saying, like, oh, if you support New Jeans, you're a pedophile, I didn't agree with that. I think the fault live is like with the CEO of High and with
the
the
CEO
of the, what's the name,
Adore.
of Adore.
Adore, I guess is how you say it.
Because if you guys want to play that card, why are we listening to any of the artists?
Yeah.
Because wouldn't everybody literally be a pedophile if we were all just still listening to everyone in HYBE. Like, that doesn't make sense to me. I think people need to be
Yeah.
upset at the right people. And
Well, it
I
also goes
don't.
back to, I was gonna say that like line, that mindset of like, if you listen to them, you're a pedophile. That also falls into the line of like, we've had this discussion so many times on this podcast. It's music at its core. Like, as long as you yourself are not looking at the members and sexualizing them, and you're just listening to their music and you're just enjoying them and you're supporting them as a fan, as in buying their music, streaming their music, that sort of thing, it's music.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's what it is. It goes back to the fact that like, I'm 28. Are you saying that
And
because I listen to them I'm a
I get
pedophile?
that
That,
too, but I also get like not wanting to stream that because you do, unfortunately. I'm not super surprised that there's someone in a company that has allegations. A lot of the times people like that, nothing happens to them. So
yeah.
when I think about that, I also think about you're always going to have bad apples in every batch, in every bucket, whatever. So it's not even to say that there are people listening to NewJeans or like into them, and they probably have like they're pedophiles too. I think it's just like it's just wild for you to not. I think my thing with HYBE is like they knew and they just felt like no one would find out.
Yeah.
And that's just my assumption based off what we've talked about before. Because it's just, I don't believe that. I don't believe you did not know. With as
Especially,
important as South Korea like pays attention to like your what you do and how you
yeah.
look and just how important education is, you know that.
Well, like,
So
for me too, like I said, this person went through an interview process. Like, the I feel like there should have been a background check somewhere for a CEO of a company. And then not only that, she came from SM Entertainment. Like, that's a big name
and I
to
think she
pull someone
or
from.
they, I don't know if it's he or she, I think they got hired because of that too though. Because of that
Yeah.
label.
But like, if you
Um
go through all of the stuff for this lady Minhee Jin and everything that happened with like the SM groups, it's one of those things where it's like, it's happened so many times that HYBE really had to have known. And the fact that
and
no
for
consideration was put into
yeah,
hiring her because of that is just kind of, especially
it's
for a group
questionable.
that, yeah, especially for a group this with this age range that NewJeans has. They had to have kind of known who they were
Like
having, or
out of
like who
all the
they had as
groups,
trainees.
out of all the groups, that's not weird. That's
It's
not
very
weird
weird.
because that's like that is it's just wild and you can't even bring up the argument of like, well, why didn't anyone say anything? I don't think if you're put in that situation and you're just like part of that label and you're just working there that you would say something because that's your job on the line and people have
Yeah.
lives and some people, I think you would react completely different if you were like in that situation. It's like the fight or flight response. Because I honestly, I don't know what the heck I would have done. I don't think I would have been able to have, if I was ready to like quit the job and knew I had other opportunities, I was ready to go, I would say something.
Yeah.
But I feel like
There's
their
also the
work
fact
climate
too.
is just completely different over there than here. So you could
Yeah.
probably rat someone out and you won't get a job ever again because you were a snitch. And now everybody knows that you're a snitch because it's on your paperwork or like you get bad mouthed no matter who talks about you. So no one, I can't even fault anybody else that hasn't said anything about it.
Yeah.
So I just know that whoever wrote that song is horrified, like figuring out who they wrote the
Who they
song
wrote
for.
it for and like who it went to or
Because that
who
song is a
purchased it
bop, but
even.
if I found out as a composer like it went to a group of teenagers, I'd be mortified.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I think people need to direct their anger in a way where hopefully something I in a perfect world, I would want something to be done. I would want a different CEO for ADOR.
It's hard to go about that though because like a lot of people are saying like well don't support NewJeans and I don't think it's in the sense of like don't support them at all, but it's like don't buy their album, don't stream them because they're hoping that that sends a message to like the CEO or the
Yeah.
company and I don't it's hard
Realistically, that's
because
not
on
gonna happen.
no and like it's really difficult to look at it that way because I've seen what is that protests I've seen protests in K-pop before and I'm sure you have as well like in the past we've seen people protest groups and we've seen people protest comebacks and the outcome of that is not great. Either nothing changes at all, it never reaches the company, or the group ends up disbanding. Like it really
The group
reflects
itself
badly on them.
suffers.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's not the
like
company that suffers, it's the group that ends up
mm-mm.
suffering. And in this case, NewJeans, they had no hand in that. So why to
Why
have
punish the
them
group?
suffer? Yeah, why punish them for it? To have them suffer for it is just really unfair, especially with how young they are. That's like
Mm-hmm.
this is their dream
That's
to
why I'm
sing
saying
and
like I hope enough people continuously voice their concerns with the CEO, like the CEO themselves. Um, I don't think not streaming them and not purchasing their stuff is gonna do anything. There's not enough people for that to impact, and it's literally not the group's fault. I just feel like that's not. If you want to protest, that's not how you do it. Like
and
if it.
protests sometimes work and sometimes don't. It really just depends on the
Mm-mm,
topic. And like that's not even through K-pop. That's just through history. Like sometimes you see protests do a lot of good and sometimes you just see them cause more harm. And in the case, my belief is in the case of the entertainment industry, protesting like that really just causes more harm than anything.
mm-hmm. And I don't know where that would go with the CEO. I just hope that they get enough
I just realized my laptop wasn't plugged. I
backlash.
apologize.
No, it's okay. I just hope that they get enough backlash to where they have appropriate lyrics for them. Like
Yeah.
I'm not even. I hate. I don't know. I just based off the crime podcast I've listened to and just like stuff that goes on in the US, pedophiles get a slap on the wrist every time.
Mhm.
So
Well, that's
I don't.
like just looking at it in the US, a pedophile, if they've had an offense, they can go live like wherever afterwards. They get a slap on the wrist, they can go live wherever. They have to register as a sex offender, especially if they're within like a certain range of a school.
And that's it.
And so you as a parent can go online and know that a sex offender is living two doors down from you and that it puts your kid at risk, but that's it. Nobody's going to do anything about it.
And guess what, girl? It's not just one. It's multiple. Like in there, you'd be surprised if you look that up. There is more than one in your
Yeah.
neighborhood or your complex, wherever. It's like it's literally insane. So that's why when I say like I don't really expect anything to change in that regard. I just hope that they are presented to be their age and they sing things that are about their age, especially when you compare them to other groups. That's what's wild to me too, because not groups don't sing stuff like that. Like
Yeah.
I don't. like not that explicitly, and that's what's crazy to me.
Monster X has some B sides
But
that are.
they're of age. They're
Yeah,
not
no,
like.
no, I get that.
But I
No,
mean, like, I
yeah.
don't. If they were older, if they're like over 18, I'd have been
Then
like,
it
oh,
wouldn't be an
this is
issue.
like this is so like different. They're just so upfront about what it is, and you know what? Speaking of like age, when this came up, I was like, well, let me ask my nieces because maybe this is just a different time.
Mhm.
Um, I think realistically, like when you start, I mean, kids know a lot than what
Yeah.
we would want them to know. So that's why I was like, let me ask one of them, is this like, is this normal to you? Like, is it really that shocking to you? And she didn't really, she thought it was weird too. She just didn't understand why they gotta sing about stuff like that. Like,
Yeah.
she said it was weird, and
Well,
she's
because I
like, it's
think
not my favorite
too.
song anyway, but I don't think I'm gonna listen to that because it doesn't, it's like, what are they doing? Singing about cookies. And that's what she said. And she's in high school. And I just don't expect that from groups their age. I literally, if I want to listen to stuff like that, I'm listening to Meg. I'm listening to anybody
Yeah.
else.
I think too, it, like just hearing how one of your nieces responded, I think it's just like kids might be exposed to that and know a lot more than we want them
Mm-hmm.
to, or we may realize they might know what it is and like know the idea and be exposed to it, but that's like not a concern for them at their age. And
Mm-mm.
comparing Cookie to Attention and Hype Boy, for example, two songs we did like, it was much more gratifying. And I feel like even for somebody within the same age range as they are, it was much more gratifying to hear them sing about, like, oh, I've got a crush on this boy, rather than like the opposite of what they were doing in Cookie.
Rather than I would like you to taste the cookie that I have. Like that is crazy. So let me just say this. I don't have any shame in saying that I love that song. I love Cookie. Like out of the list, unfortunately for me, it is Cookie, it is Hype Boy, and then it's Attention. And if you just gave me the instrumental of Cookie, I would be so happy because not only were their vocals really good, but that the way they produced that song was really good to me. Like that every track they had, I was like, this is a really well put together track. And
Mhm.
I even enjoyed the lyrics, but when you cannot help but to think about the group, especially in that regard. Because while we made that comment on the YouTube, I also made my own comment saying like ignorance really is bliss in this case. Because if I was just a casual K-pop us like listener, I would
Mhm.
listen to the song and be like, "This is great. I don't know who this group is, but they're doing amazing," and I'll move on.
And that goes back to what I said at the very very start of
Mm-hmm.
like people are going to take the song at face value of they're going to listen to it, they're going to like it. If they speak Korean, they're going to know what it means. They're not going to know that NewJeans is underage unless they're not a casual K-pop fan, or unless they're a K-pop stan, or unless they like the group. They're not going to know that these girls said that the meaning of the song is we are making cookies for our fans. If this comes on the radio in Korea and it's just playing at a cafe and normal people are there, they're not going to have any idea. They're just going to listen to it and say,
Part of
I
me
like that
like
song.
a part of me does disagree with that. We're like, oh, we're just making cookies for fans. But if I just feel like regardless, like it's
The
the
company
lyrics
told
are.
them to say that.
I know that,
The
but I'm saying
company.
like if you because people are saying that too. Like people
Yeah. Well,
responded saying that too, because
because
that's what
that's
they
what the
said.
group said. Yeah.
But if you are just reading the lyrics itself, you can't say that. You can't even say it means different things. Cause
Yeah.
I
Well,
don't
that's why I'm saying
I don't play
a
devil's
listener.
advocate. I just play both. I always try to understand both sides. So when even when I did listen to it, I was like, well, let me stop listening to it and can like reading the lyrics that way. And let me see if like it's you're able to interchange it for a different meaning
It
and you're
doesn't come off
just
that
not
way.
able to.
Yeah.
Like
No, it
even if you
doesn't come off that
say
way.
cookie doesn't mean that. It means literally baking and giving people
No.
the dessert. Like that just doesn't work. It doesn't work. I tried. I tried because I'm obsessed with the song. I want to listen to it. So I tried to reason with it and it just didn't. And it really took me out every time. I don't know who said it where they say taste my cookie or something like that. That's every time that if they say that lyric, I'm just like, dang. Well, now this is weird.
And it's not even like maybe if the wording had been different, like these cookies,
Yeah.
maybe it could have worked, but they say my
It's I think it
cookie.
is
And
the fact they
it's
say my in that like y'all, come on. We can don't be ignorant. When they were told to say that and you could tell that they were told to say that. And there's a chance that they don't even understand what they just sang about.
yeah. Well, a couple of them are fluent in English, I think, one or two. So, but even then at that age, like
I'm not saying anything about it. I'm just about to debut. I'm gonna keep my mouth shut.
yeah. Yeah,
Like,
no.
and then you probably
Uh,
have people around you saying the song is fire. Don't even worry about it. Don't even worry about it. It's fire. And it is fire. I just wish like y'all were at least older singing that song. And I knew we weren't old when I asked my niece about it, and she responded the same way.
yeah.
It's just
Well,
not
that's why
deep enough.
like I said with that, it's like yeah, your niece and their age range might know about that, but essentially that's not their concern. Like that's not what they're worried about at
And
the
they're not
age of
out here telling
16,
everybody about it.
17.
They're not singing about it to everybody they know. Like you keep that on the
Yeah.
DL. Um, I do wonder. I wish I was a K-pop star so I could know like the gossip and see if like this is what everyone is talking about, so we can know how other artists feel
Others are
about it.
others are feeling.
Yeah, like how do they think? Like what do they think about it? Is it really that deep type of thing? That's what I want to know. I think I just want to know culturally, does it stand out like as much
Yeah.
as we're making it an issue? That's
Yeah.
what I want to know. Uh, I'm not sure what else to say about it. I just really wish I hated the song. I wish that song was Hurt, and I'd be like, that's fine. I don't listen to Hurt anyway. But it's literally the top three songs, and nothing's gonna be done about it. It's gonna get streams. It's already at, I think it's like 3 million. I think it's over
Yeah.
3 million streams or something. And I just really want them to not do this again. I don't want them to sing this explicitly ever again. That's it.
I hope I that's what I hope for the next comeback. Like when they have their first comeback, I all I can really hope from this is that somebody looked at the fans' complaints and took into account why we were angry and what we were angry about and that it changes for the next time. Because
Yeah.
I really just like the concept that 2000 early 2000s late 1999 hip hop kind of R&B vibe that they had going on, and I liked the like attention and hype boy. I just liked the feel of like they were just being kids having a crush on people, getting on their phones. That like I liked that concept that they had going. And when Cookie came, it kind of ruined that concept
Yeah,
because of the
and
lyrics. And so I can only hope that somebody looks at this and is like, "Oh, I understand why people are upset. Let's not do this again."
it's not the same. I've said this in the attention reaction that if they, some people will probably disagree with it, but I feel like when teenagers are more aware of their like sexuality and like discovering that, I feel like you can do that appropriately. I I just feel like you could do that so much better instead of just being
Yeah.
explicit with it. And again, I
Yeah.
just it's just one of those things where I really feel like they gave a prompt to a writer and they were like, okay, and they wrote it.
Or they just purchased the song. Maybe the song was already written and produced and they
Yeah.
just cuz that happens too.
Like dang,
They could
what if,
have
if it was
they
already
could have just
purchased? Wow,
that
you're really talented.
that
Like dang, you had a bop and you didn't even know. How does that make you feel? Anyway, that's just like irrelevant. Like that's irrelevant because if I had a bop just hanging out ready for purchase and like Shiny bought it, I would be destroyed. They're like, oh my god, you remember Wildfire? Monster X, that's just they're doing the song. Like, that's you. Lock me up in my room. Are you kidding me? You did.
This is the reason I go out to drink every night. Can you believe they bought this song?
I'm
Down
just a
some.
SoundCloud artist, and you telling me that my Wildfire song is on a Monster X album like that, and it's just been sitting in the purchase in the purchase website for like 6 years, and they bought it. And what? Like that's crazy. If that was the case, that's just like I'm just
That's
trying to
also
be
I just funny.
I'm just trying to
Be
be
funny. It was
funny.
funny. But I was just throwing that out there as like some people write songs and with the intention of selling them. So like maybe it was already written and they purchased it and the person who wrote it
Yeah,
literally had no idea like that was the
we.
case.
I would like to interview songwriters and producers that have had moments like that. Like I think that would be so crazy because I can't. I'm sure sometimes they do know who they're writing for and they can't tell anybody because
Yeah,
um as a designer, when you freelance, you have to sign contracts where you can't say anything about the projects, depending on.
non-disclosures. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So I wonder to what extent that is when it comes to music. Because what if it maybe it is like you just don't know who you're writing for, and you just have to like
Yeah.
do it and
Come up
hope for the
with
best,
uh,
and you won't know until they tell you, basically, like, thank
yeah.
you for like your work. This is the final. I'm like, oh my god, shiny. Like that's it. Like I would like that. I would like to know. I would like to know. So I want to know who wrote it. Like the person that wrote Cookie. How do you feel? We'll never know who you are. I would never say anything. I would pretend I don't exist because the way the internet works, I feel like people would blame you for
Yeah.
something you can't control.
Yeah.
Well,
And it's definitely not their fault.
it's not like if you think that it's the songwriter's fault, if you really think it's anyone's fault, there's only two factors. There's only two people that could be at fault. Let's just think about it. Think about it. But
uh,
yeah, I think that's it. Just
That's
a
it.
long discussion of. Listen, I'm gonna still support NewJeans. I try not to stream Cookie, and honestly, when I do listen to it, I'm like vibing until that line pops up, and then I skip the rest of the song. But
I'm gonna continue to support them too because I don't
I'm
think
gonna
it's fair
support them.
to punish the girls who had
Yeah,
nothing to do with this and are just singing, achieving their dreams. Like, if I wanted to be famous and I was like 14, 15, or 16, that would be crazy to be
I think
able
the
to do
only
what they're doing.
reason I would stop just listening if it's at this level and it stays there. Like
Yeah.
if they keep
I'm
putting
not
out
list.
music like
Oh,
that.
yeah.
Like if it
Long
if
term.
yeah, if they do that,
Because I was
I
going to.
cannot. I can't do it.
Yeah, because I was gonna say I don't listen to Cookie. It's not my favorite. I'm the opposite of Lacey. I actually like Attention, Hype Boy, and then Cookie anyway. So I listen to Attention more. But I'm not gonna punish the girls by not like I've watched Attention's live stages. I really like that song and
You
their
can't help it. They
harmonization.
can really
Yeah,
dance. They dance
they
really
can really
good.
dance, and that harmonizing they do in the chorus. So like I'm not gonna punish them for that. They are at the bottom of the chain of all of these decisions. They had no hand in it, and so I'm still gonna support them. But yeah, like you said, if it continues and they keep releasing songs like Cookie, I probably can't keep going at
I
that
will
point.
really be like,
Like,
what are you going to do? Like what
as
do we have to do?
especially because I'm sure a
Yeah.
lot of this backlash at this point has reached the higher ups. Like, there's no way they can't know how the general
Nah.
public
If they
is
found out about the Le
receiving
Seraphim
this.
stuff, they know about this. Like that's the thing. They
Yeah.
know about this.
So, like, if they were to continue going at that point, knowing this, then it's just a question of like, what the heck is wrong with you?
Like then
Like,
what's wrong
there's
with
something.
HYBE?
Yeah, and
That's
what's wrong with HYBE? Because, like I said, knowing how a subsidiary works, because hotels are subsidiaries, whatever is decided in ADOR or however you say the company, it does go back to HYBE. Like, they make the final decision. So HYBE is just as responsible for this as ADOR is.
and don't say you're not going to support the group because of if you someone supports it, then they're a pedophile. Then that means you can't listen to anyone in HYBE. And now you're just out here musicless. Now you're just sitting here with nothing to listen to because
Nothing to
everybody
listen
is
to.
under
Well,
HYBE.
it's not even, yeah, oh, okay, yeah. Because I
It's
was
a
going to
lot
say
of
it's
the
not even just
popular
HYBE,
it's a lot of
but yeah.
popular artists that are under HYBE where it's just like that's a lot of groups that you just cut off. You can't do that. And you're not going to
Yep.
do that. And those people are going to be the same people that act like they never said that before and they're standing NewJeans. I'm not really bothered by those comments. And I could tell that so how it started with the comments was that it was a majority of people concerned, and then as
Mhm.
time went on it was more people like saying like pushing out their support saying I stand them, I love the song and blah blah blah. And I like at that point I was like I don't think it's gonna really be resolved, at least not like a we're not gonna get like a letter or anything. I just it's just gonna be one
Yeah,
of those
no.
things where we have to wait and see because
What happens next time?
mm-hmm.
Yeah, no. There's not going to be an apology or like a
Absolutely
statement.
not.
This and that's why I say, like, boycotting them and saying you're not going to support them and that you're not going to purchase their album, you're not going to stream their music. That's why I say that doing that is going to cause the group more harm than help them at all, because you're not going to get a statement about this, and in the end it's going to affect the girls. It's not going to bother the company at all. They'll just go find new trainees. That's
Mm-hmm.
that's how it works.
Yeah. Just
So,
give the spicy songs to the groups that like
are of age.
babies.
Give all
That's
the
it.
spicy songs to Monster X.
Oh my god, if they had this song, I don't know. I probably would have passed out.
They sung Cookie. Have
If they
you?
just said like, if it was as to this level, I guess, to
Have you not listened
easy
to
to
Monster
no,
Truck?
but like to easy to understand to like
Have you
Jesse.
not listened to Monster Truck?
I don't think so,
Oh
but
my
I'd be
god.
happy about it if we
Okay.
could just
I'm
do
gonna.
like, I don't know, because Jesse's arguable too. Like she would be like Meg the Stallion of the K-pop world, but we need a Meg. We need a Meg the Stallion. That's when I know times have changed. If we get a Meg, and she's just like, if you rap exactly like Meg the Stallion, times are different. I don't think have I heard Monster Truck?
I don't know. Monster Truck and Rotate are both very. They are definitely singing about what you think they are singing about.
Well, good for them. That's it. That's fine.
I'll send both. I'll send both to you so that way you can
I'm
see if
looking it up
you
now.
Monster Truck and then Rotate from the One of a Kind album.
Wow. They got a lot of. I'm scrolling.
Just look it up. Like type
I
it
am.
in.
I'm just being difficult. G Dragon popped up.
How?
For the One of a Kind.
Oh my gosh. Oh, you should have just looked up Rotate.
It's right here. It's been a minute since I've listened to the album. I feel like it's just that time for me to re-listen to a lot of albums that I just didn't. I was like, it was straight, because I feel like
There
the
are
quality has
enough
shifted.
English lyrics in both of those songs for you to definitely hear it and go, "Oh,
I
okay, I
think the
see what you
lesson
did
here
here."
is that I need to stop vibing most of the time and actually read through lyrics now.
Read the lyrics.
It's just because I'm a selection girl, and I just really feel that. I really just feel the melody and the beat, and that's it. It doesn't really stick out to me unless I'm listening to like my wannabe trap god playlist. Then it's like that's really in my ear. It's really there. It's loud and can't get away from it. So,
Well,
let us
that's
know what you
all we
think.
had to say.
Do you agree with what we said?
Yeah. Yeah,
Are
let
you
us
gonna
know your
stand?
opinions.
And if you're not,
Please
that's
do.
fine.
I was
I don't know.
don't punish them for it. I mean, if you don't stand, it's okay, but like don't actively boycott. Don't punish the girls for it. They had nothing to do with this. But let us know what you guys think. Although I am very much of the opinion, and nobody's going to change my mind on this, on even though they said that they were making cookies for the fans, that is not what the song is about.
It's just
And
not.
I'm sorry, but if you come and you comment that, I don't agree with you, especially knowing that the song was written in English first and then translated. Like, I just, sorry,
We
but I
would
cannot.
simply respond with an okay.
Okay. The two letter okay as well, not
Oh
even
no, that's
the
what I meant.
OKAY or just a K.
Okay. Okay, girl.
But yeah, let us know what you think. Let us know what you think overall of NewJeans' debut. Um, if you have anything else to add that you think we missed on the topic, just remember to be respectful.
Yeah.
We appreciate everybody's opinion here, but we don't want it to turn into an argument, and we don't tolerate meanness. So just be nice about it.
Yeah. This isn't a
And
episode to like start
a
conflict.
fan war or a
Yeah.
war or a
That's
cancel.
not who we are. It's just not. I'm not going to waste time. I will
We just wanted to give
simply.
our opinion on
Yeah.
what we thought was going on, and it's topic that's out there and people are talking about it. So we decided to give our opinion, especially as K-pop fans that are older and have been in the game for a really long time. We just wanted to let people know what we thought about everything going on.
Well,
Anything else? Remember to like,
until next
comment,
time.
subscribe. And until next time, yes. Thanks for listening, you guys.